Good evening, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Now, as most of you may know, I was recently on Saneter TV, and I did a little piece explaining how the Hebrew Israelite nationality is not real. Now, Brother Saneter, he brought up Captain Tazaryach's name. And I guess Captain Tazaryach is like one of the faces of the Hebrew Israelite camp in today times. So Saneter brought up his name. So I would like to humbly challenge Captain Tazaryach to a discussion. I'm beyond debates. Debates lead nowhere. It puts a person in a perspective of competition. I'm not competing. It's just a discussion. So I want to humbly challenge or invite Captain Tazaryach to a discussion on the Hebrew Israelite nationality. Because as I stated, Jacob was not an Israelite. The nationality Israelite became a nationality when Jacob named his children this. He named his children this because he wrestled with God, and God named him Israel. So he named his children after the name that was given to him. The name that was given to him is the name he gave his children's nationality. Now, we know nationality is a genetic thing. So whatever Jacob was, this is what his children truly would have been. And Israelite is only a name that was made up. Whether it was by God or whoever, it was only made up. Now, me and Captain Tazaryach, we can discuss God and many other things also. Because as y'all know, that's like Santa Claus to me. God's is for those who have like 3-year-old intellect on a grown-up's level. And 3-year-olds, they believe in Santa Claus. 7-year-olds, they don't. So this is what I mean. So to me, Captain Tazaryach, being as though he believes in God and all of this, he's like a 3-year-old to me. But discuss it, work it on out, and see what's what. In a nice, humbled setting. It can be done on Saneter TV, it can be done anywhere, but as long as it's in a nice, humbled, respectful setting where it's not any emotion and just calm, peaceful setting. As I stated, I was a Hebrew Israelite myself, so I'm very familiar with the teachings. So this won't be any biased flip-flop, no. I was a Hebrew Israelite. I fully grasp what's being taught. Now, it's a deep thing. We can discuss this. Hopefully he's up to it. If he's not, any other current face of the Hebrew Israelite nation, you can step forth. We can do this on Saneter TV. And work this out and discuss it and see where this leads, because I just don't understand why people are lost and still have the need for gods, religions, and fake nationalities. I truly don't understand that, and that's not a jab. I just do not understand this. This is why I said we can have a beautiful discussion on it. It doesn't even have to be one person. It can be all the Hebrew Israelites. It doesn't matter to me. One person, 2 people, 5 people. Knowledge is knowledge, so it doesn't matter. It's not like I have to physically do anything. So it's just knowledge. So it could be as many people as, however many people a person may need to have a discussion with me to make their point. That's fine with me. However many people, Captain Tazaryach can bring the whole Hebrew organization. I'm fine with that, and they can all speak simultaneously. I'll be on point. It's no big deal. I don't have many excuses. So if it's 50 guys and just me, I still expect to have made my point at the end of whatever discussion we have. And I expect those that I'm speaking to not have made their point. Meaning when I ask them questions, they won't be able to answer it. And if you can't answer a question, then that means your teachings is not sturdy. So it's a deep thing. Hopefully Captain Tazaryach takes this challenge, or someone in the Hebrew Israelite organization does, that's fluid on the teachings. Therefore, we could just discuss it, and get to some type of understanding. Therefore, we can all be on one understanding and one accord. Because as of now, we all believe in all types of things. Even within the different religions, the people within the same religion believe in different things. So we just need one understanding. And the only way this will happen is when deep intellectual discussions occur. Not debates, but discussions. It's a deep thing. Debaters, they talk a lot. That's a waste. It's a discussion. Back and forth. Quick discussions. Slicing and dicing. But that's my challenge to brother Captain Tazaryach. Now, if there's anyone in the Black Pan-African movement that wants to have a discussion with me on that as well, I'm up for that also, because that makes absolutely no sense. But we can discuss it, break through it, discuss different things like albinos, original man, and just go in depth and have a nice, beautiful discussion. And hopefully I'll be able to enlighten, or vice versa. But discussions must happen, because I have very good questions that are not being answered. Like Africa. There's no actual place called Africa. The people of Africa, that continent of all those different countries, they don't view themselves as the same nationality as one another. Grasp. An Ethiopian doesn't see himself the same as a Nigerian. So being as though they all see themselves as separate nationalities, how does the Pan-African movement make any sense, being as though there's no nationality of Africa? You have Ethiopians, Somalians, Nigerians, people from the Congos. You have many different nationalities, but none of them are African. They don't refer to themselves as that. And they don't see themselves as all the same nation of people. So, if we're all truly the Africans, what is that? Now, when you get in depth into this conversation, we would all have to be from one of those nations, or something of a sense. And that makes no sense either, because which one? And there's no answers for that. Also, when you're dealing with the slaves, most people who were slaves, they were enslaved by people of another nationality. So if I was of one nation of people and I went to war with your people, I would take those who didn't die and spare their life, and they would be my servant or slave. So my point is this: when you're dealing with slaves, their slaves are usually not the same nationality as the people enslaving them. Now my point is this: when white people brought slaves from Africa, these people they bought were slaves already in Africa. Meaning wherever they were brought from, they were not necessarily that nationality. So if slaves were brought from the Congos, the slaves probably were not the people of the Congos, but they were the servants of those people. The Congos went to war with different neighboring tribes and nationalities of people. Those people may have lost and became servants and slaves to the rulers of the Congos. And when white men came in and bought slaves and took slaves, they were taking these people. Now, who these people were, when you're dealing with slaves, you'd never know. Because once a slave is a slave, his history is completely lost. Once he has kids, and they have kids, so you have to grasp. Whatever slaves were brought from Africa, they didn't even necessarily have to be from that continent. So it's a deep thing. But we can discuss it and work it out. Discuss albinism. Because someone said black people have white babies and all this weird stuff, and people don't have an understanding of albinism. They don't understand that a black albino is still a black person. It's truly not an albino, but he has the traits of one. The yellow hair, the light skin, but it's really not white, it's like yellow. Now, all nationalities of people have albinos, but they're that nationality, meaning they have the features of that nation of people, even though they're an albino. So when I say albinos are their own race, I'm not talking about these albinos, meaning I'm not talking about a black man who's an albino. I'm not talking about him because he's a black man. When I say albinos are their own race, I'm speaking of original albinos, which would be Caucasian, white albinos. Now those albinos, mixing and mingling in with the melanated people of this earth, is how you get white people who have black hair, which is melanated, black eyes, and the different varieties of white people you see. This is how you get that. This is also how you get that gene in the melanated people, where all the different melanated nations of people have albinos throughout their history of breeding, from the union of an original albino, which is a Caucasian person. A black albino, meaning a black nationality of a person, wide nose, nappy hair. If he was an albino, he would still have wide nose, nappy hair. So you would clearly know what the albino is. If you see a Chinese albino, you'd know his nationality, even though he was an albino, or classified as one. So this is my point. That's not truly an albino. So using that to say, well, albinos come from black people, so black people come first, this makes no sense. You have to understand science, and you have to understand that an albino coming from a black person is still a black person. You have to understand what an original albino is, because that's not it. That is just the after effects. But like I said, anyone in the Pan-African movement that would like to meet me on Saneter TV, if he'd have us, and we could discuss it. I think it'd be great for the people. I think it'd be great for his channel. And I think we should all pitch in and help Saneter build his channel back up to being at the top of the movement. And then he could just, I won't say he's biased, but he could just be more unbiased. And it could be more different discussions of this nature on his channel, and we can all just kind of meet there and have some order to this teaching thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. But, you know, people like to argue. People like to have their little emotional pits and pats. So people may not like Saneter, certain people, and I don't know how this will work out. But as I stated, Captain Tazaryach, that's my challenge to him. Beautiful discussion. And the same for anyone in the Pan-African movement. It can even be Saneter himself. It could be Brother Herman Smalls. Because I like them. They don't be getting lost in emotions. Somebody who's not emotional, that can be like, all right, yeah, maybe you're right. I need somebody like that that's realistic. And I noticed with Saneter and Herman Smalls, they don't overly. If you right, then they be like, all right, you right. I ain't gonna nitpick, but so much that I can. If your teachings is holding up, then they will say like, okay, you right. So, you know, anybody that has that type of intellect, where they not necessarily just trying to make anything right, but if it holds up, it holds up. Like I said, anyone that's in the Pan-African movement that will accept this challenge, email me, solace031@gmail.com, or reach out to me on Facebook through Messenger. Do not respond in the comment section of this video because I more than likely will not get it. Email me, Solace, SOLACE031@gmail.com, or go to Facebook, Solace Solari, and messenger me. Or, I don't know, the best way is through email, but a lot of people don't want to deal with Messenger as of lately. I haven't been on Facebook or anything for the last couple of weeks, so, but whatever the case may be, reach out. And I guess one Saturday or one weekday, whenever's good for anyone, we can meet up by Saneter, however, wherever he wants to do it, and we can work this out and just have this nice, beautiful discussion. In the process, we can show people a new way to have these so-called debates in a more respectful, grown-up manner. Because there'd be a lot of childish remarks and antagonizing comments, and it gets goofy. Messes up the knowledge part. And I'm all for that part. I don't really care about the other stuff. But we can keep it funny, because I'm funny, so it's going to be a little bit of... Like I said, Captain Tazaryach is a Nephilim. If you see him in real life, he's humongous. He's like 8'5". It's a deep thing. But I admire people like that, like Herman Smalls, big... I admire it, because if I was big, I would truly just punch people in their face. It's a deep thing, but when you my size, you can't just punch people in the face, because you got to think, okay, after I punch him in the face, then I'm going to have to stab him. I might have to pick up a rock. I might have to shoot him, because he's big. Not Captain Tazaryach, but just whoever, because I'm little, so whoever I'm talking to is bigger than me. So it's a deep thing. And when you're small, you have to keep things like this in the back of your mind. So you can't just be punching people in the face. But if I was Captain Tazaryach's size, man, with my kind of heart, oh man, I would just punch people in their face. That's the easiest way to make a point. It's a deep thing. That was a joke. Let's stay focused. Now, hopefully someone accepts these challenges. It's your main man Solace, the groovy, wise, humble servant. Everyone be at peace.